Hey guys, it's Angel and welcome back to the channel. And as you can see in front of me, this is the beautiful Beechcraft Starship by Just Flight and developed by Black Square. Now this was originally explored in 1979 by Beech to be a successor to their King Air line of turboprops to go faster, carry more passengers, and well, they contracted with Scale Composites, yes, Burt Rutan's company, to refine the design and build an 85% scale proof of concept. And well, Scale Composites and Beech created this, the Starship. Now, the proof of concept aircraft first flew in 1983, had no pressurization system, no certified avionics, different airframe design, but of course this ended up becoming the Starship. It's heavily carbon fiber composite constructed aircraft with canard designs, no vertical tail, pusher engines. It's absolutely a Burt Rutan, of course, and these are variable sweep canards. They F-14 on the front of your plane. An incredibly exciting aircraft, of course. At the time, these materials were really only used on military aircraft, not on any civilian certified aircraft. So it had to be specially certified. 53 were built, so not very many, and it was manufactured for 9 years between 1983 and 1995. Now, in terms of specs, on a 2000A model, we have about a capacity of 6. She has 2 Pratt & Whitney PT6A 67A turboprops, providing 1200 shaft horsepower, with 5-blade, 8-foot Macaulay props. She can get up to 335 knots, cruising at 307, and stalls clean at 97. So 41,000 foot service ceiling. So a very capable turboprop. Now what do we get from Just Flight and Black Square? A list of avionics about as long as my arm. Sounds are by Boris Audio Works, recorded from the real aircraft, and there are not many of these still flying. 600 checklist items. Yes, it has CRT, cathode ray tube simulation, including warm-up, instrument panel temperature. Improper engine management will damage the systems. We have gyroscopic physics simulation, St. Elmo's fire, mathematically accurate VOR and ADF signal attenuation, noise degradation, foreign object damage, windshield wipers, the most important feature, terrain and weather radar tech, simulated environmental controls, 230 regular, random or scheduled maintenance failures, VLF and Omega navigation, one of its kind AMS 850 14-tube Collins avionics suite, and a 190-page manual to help you understand all of that, including Black Square's tablet system, which of course they had in their Duke series, and they'll be bringing to all their new revised aircraft, of course. So let's in through this and take a dive in. It's £40 from Just Flight, and something in the region of $50 in Americanese. Let's go take a look at it, shall we? Now this is native and 2020, so it can be native for 24 as well. So we will have to pull out our engine covers and our chocks. Here are the swing canards. Pull out these. Pull out our gear pins as well. Now those are the holes through which the passive cooling of the avionics can happen. We do want to kind of get moving once we're started, because there are limitations on how long you can have the avionics on the ground without extra cooling running, because this thing will heat up very fast. So checking this out, beautiful modelling and detailing here. We can't grab and move these as you would in other sims in 24. Nothing to grab there. Everything's been pulled out. We're ready to rock and roll, so let's get in the aircraft. And we'll take a look around inside. Now, this does not automatically get you inside, which I do like as a feature, because I'm sick and tired of opening the door and it throwing me inside the aircraft. But now, we can just open that, and we can get in with our shortcut, Shift-C. And here we are in the cockpit. There are all those pins we pulled out. Let's take a quick look at the back first. Pull this up. And you'll notice a little homage here to Burt Rutan himself. Little panel there. One of the greatest, if not greatest, aircraft designers of all time. Now, we do have light switches for our overhead reading lights. Nothing else really clickable in the back. So no fun, fancy features like moving seats, tables, food. There's no lavatory. You have got this side seat back here. And you can open the rear compartment, where there's a little homage to Burt. The best aircraft the company ever built. Burt Rutan. That's a nice little moment. Okay. So, that's everything in the back. Let's go to the front. The important part, shall we? Now, we're going to do this a little bit out of order because of temperatures and things. By the way, I could put a floppy drive in here. It actually functions. We can pull these down, of course, as well. We'll leave that for now. 430 here can be toggled on and off. So you can either have it or not, but it's in an unobtrusive place where it would have been fitted. So it doesn't really detract from the 80s vibe of the aircraft. These, if you're a zoomer, are cathode ray tube monitors. Each one's an individual monitor. They're deep, these things. If I recall, CRT avionics, they're about a foot to 2 foot deep in terms of its actual background behind this. So you'll notice the panel's quite actually deep here. But these are big and they get hot very easily. So first thing we're going to do is pull out our tablet. We're going to go to our payload page. And we're going to put external power on. And I'm going to turn external power on here. And I'm going to put the alternative avionics blower on as well to keep my avionics cool whilst we're sitting here on the ground. Because that's quite important. Now what have we got here? We can show our pilot, co-pilot figures. We can put on our passengers as well. All wonderful there. Baggage, fuel tanks. So we can make sure everything's filled as we want to. Cabin doors, oxygen. We could turn all those interior and external things off outside or inside through this. Yes, I'm well aware the fuel pressure's low. Got our kilos and pounds versus... gallons and pounds, sorry, versus litres and kilos. Engine flow displays, we know these from the... we'll just repair these to have them set at perfect. You can know these from the... oh, that's just dead. You know these from the Duke. So there is that. Electrical system, read through here. Cabin temperatures and pressures. Avionics bays there is quite warm, so we're cooling that at the moment. And our cabin is very hot. So what we're going to do with the external power on is we're going to get the blowers on in the cabin for a start. Because temperature manual. We're going to crank this thing down here. Because this is very hot right now in the back there. Turn the blowers up. We want to bring that down because this is, you know, put it to automatic. Okay, because I'm starting to sweat at the cockpit here. And it's warm back there. We don't want any of that. Now we know these. Right, we'll go through to our checklist, and we've got failures, by the way, in there on that page. That's right. We can move this around, by the way, but you can have a static positioning for VR if you use VR. And you've got various other selections and options along here to choose. So we'll put this away, and we're going to pull up our checklists. Now, most of these pre-flight ones are all done. We've got these all largely set. Battery can go on down there. And we can turn the battery off again in another step. So that's fine. We're running on external power. These are all largely done. Down here, there'll be things like checking your oxygen on both sides as steps. Making sure anti-skid is turned on down there. We'll be also checking to make sure standby instruments are set to on. Should be down here. Okay, these are all where they need to be, and that's fine. Standby instruments will go on and off. That's during our testing phase there, so everything is good to go in that regard. So let's go for engine start off external power. Okay, so right down to here, batteries on. That's a good start for us. Now let's make sure we have our stuff set here. So idle is in the notch. Pull those back, and we'll leave the fuel to cut-off positions as we need to be. So, okay, let's make sure our avionics are turned on. Warm those up. Okay. In fact, I believe pilot and the ECAS needs to be on, but pilot and co-pilot can be off. And look at the fade from when they come on and off. It's fantastic. So we'll go with right engine to ignition. And we'll see this one come up. Oxygen armed. That's our oxygen down there. Now armed. Okay, that's moving, so we'll go into start. And we have a good start. Fantastic. Roger, roger, roger. Okay, ignition off. And we will go into generator to on for right. Okay, and we'll go to left start. We'll spin left up as well, and we'll get this moving. We're not going to mess around along here and get ourselves going once we're ready, because I don't want to basically run this aircraft off itself. Okay. And our temperature in the cabin is coming down, so let's go to full. To start on left. We have good start on left. Okay. Started down. That on. And we're going to set our bleed air to both. Fan, dabby does. The pneumatic pressure should come up. External power is on. Alternative blower is on. That's intended to keep our avionics cool. Okay, now pilot and co-pilot avionics to on. And you'll notice all these warming up for us. So most of this stuff is all set where it needs to be. I'm going to just run through some of these quickly for you. We're going to first pull off our external power. Everything is running. So self-test in progress there. So we've got here our radar options. We could also go to an index. Plenty of other things. We've got our normal procedures in here. And we can also go to our plan map. Now this either works through GPS as assisted navigation, or it's going to be giving us the old system, whereby which basically it constantly tuned itself to various nearby NDBs, VORs, to get itself data, so it could position itself. It was rougher, of course, but it was quite cool. Now initiating system, update position to where we are, update current position. We can go through all our various trip planning in here, and because we now have a... Ooh! That actually sounds like a floppy disk. Yeah, these are old tech. I still remember these somehow. Don't judge me. Update database. Yeah, very cool. Let's go back now to index, and we've got route libraries. We can initiate systems, fuel management, and inspect waypoints, various other factors in here. So without further ado, let's go fly the aeroplane, which is what you want. Now, normally I would be using, let's go up to full. Now, normally I'd be using my head tracking, but it is the middle of the day because I'm wanting to record this early, and I don't want to faff around, so we're going to do just that. Okay, let's taxi out here. Now watch our canards here as we go from no flaps to flaps deployed. There's a sweep forward to provide better positive control. And I will say ahead of time, you're going to want to have some power on when you land this thing, because she pitches forward and doesn't have a lot of throttle pitch control when she's low on power. With that push design. Okay. Engines are behaving themselves. Everything is operational. Taxi out here at Innsbruck. The sounds are phenomenal. Okay. We're going to go to full on the props. And this is what I mean by the canards at the front. We'll sweep them for you here, in fact, while I just move this. So it flaps to up. And you'll watch those canards sweep back into their flight position. Where they're actually streamlined to help us go faster. But of course, pushing forwards as part of the actual flap procedure to give us better lift. Now we do have flaps in the back there. Those canards make a bigger impact on our flight performance. So, let's rock and roll, shall we? Everything's where it needs to be. We're not going full power for this takeoff because we've got plenty of runway and I don't want to use the engines too hard. Listen to that sound, that wail there. Reduced power takeoff here. Listen to that whine. She's a beautiful looking aircraft, isn't she? Okay, and we're coming through 80 knots, 100 knots, lifting up. And she just flies off the runway there really nicely. Little trim. Now I shouldn't need that alternative avionics blower to be on there anymore. You notice it fades off the screen there. Pull the gear in, shall we? Retract our flaps at the front and the canards. I'm going to retard my throttles there. And our cabin temperature is coming down nicely, so we'll leave that on automatic for us right now. We'll leave the blower on because 26 degrees is quite okay for us. The simulation level in this aircraft is fantastic. I'm very enthusiastic of it. It certainly seems to be having a lot going for it. And performance-wise, she's a joy to operate. How do these work? Are these two positional? Are these... They are clickable. Okay, so it's grab the strip and move. Okay. GPS is down there and functional. That is our landing gear alternate extension. I didn't have it selected, so it won't have done anything though, so that's okay. Now, actual handling wise, we're going to do some stalls actually, because I really want to see what this is like in that regard. So reducing power to idle. I'm aware of that, boys and girls, thank you. And once I get power down, my flaps are gear is going to come down. I'm going to do a dirty stall because it's the one that I'm most curious about. Flaps are going out to full flap deployment. I'm going to hold pitch here. Stick shaker and big nose drop there. And power on. Flaps back in. Okay. And we'll do a clean one there. So we'll pull the gear in too. I'm going to go power to idle here. Yes, I'm aware of airplane, thank you. Get more shaker and she just mushes down the nose. Really heavy mush. Keep power on. Governor's catching my prop RPM. Okay, nicely done. Okay, so build a little speed here. We're going to turn around. We're going to head back towards Innsbruck and bring her in. In terms of £40 for an aircraft simulation in this sim, for 2020 and 2024, this is a phenomenal depth of simulation, both from temperature simulations, the CRT behavior is super original. We don't really have anything with this sort of CRT behavior in the sim to date, so it's really cool to see that. She's very fast, she's very capable, definitely within the bounds of business jet, business aircraft markets, and very unique. Has capability to operate with VATSIM, with modern GPS systems if you want to use that, or with period navigation. So you can go full 80s. In fact, I loved their trailer for this aircraft. It was full 1980s with the music, with the narration. It was phenomenal. Loved it. Absolutely dedication to the period, and I want to see more period aircraft get period-style trailers. Like, I want to see World War II stuff come out in black and white. Okay, slight kid, but you see what I mean. Okay, we're within gear extension speed, so I'm going to drop the landing gear. Make sure we are actually at the proper idle position, because it is not where my throttle's idle is, but it's slightly forward. So speed's coming down there. So flaps coming down. We are full flaps. Okay. I'm aware of AFX being off. Engines looking good. Props are to full forward. Conditions are full forward. Runway in sight. Maintaining about 110, 115 indicated. The benefit of this is I do still have my pitch behavior, which does drop after this. Once you approach about the 90, 100 range, you will lose a lot of that pitch authority, so you've got to be aware of that. The visibility is very good in this aircraft as well, I will say, for what it is. Rather nice. Can I see myself working for Pablo in this? Absolutely. This will be Pablo's little rocket ship. Or maybe we can think of some more precious and good trips to conduct with something like this. Okay. Add some power to maintain. Now I'm actually setting up myself on final. Prop RPM is a bit on the high side, so I'm just going to pull that back. A nudge. We're okay. She's quite well behaved at this attitude. Little more power. Just to manage. The radar altimeter displaying there on the PFD is quite nice. Showing me my actual altitude above the ground. So, reducing power here. As we make our final approach. Aircraft pointed at this end of the runway, but I'm looking at the far end. Power down. Still have pitch authority, and I'm going to trim into the landing. which is something this aircraft will need. In fact, some turboprops do like it. But turboprops, you can get away with doing that because, whilst it's counterintuitive in general aviation, turboprops have the power to get away from it. And often can be a little bit sticky when it comes to flaring. So 107, we're a little slow, a little bit more power. Okay. Bring the nose down. Round her out. Bring the nose up, power down. She gets a little nose low and I just slapped the nose into the ground there. I hate doing that. It did it to me last time I flew it. But I get low on power. I was trying to trim through that and it wasn't pulling it up as much as I'd like. It will take some practice for me to work out how to do this right, but that was a thumper. Not impressed with that. I didn't flare at all. It's just going to drop down. But you have to be aware of this. It gets very... When you're low and slow, it gets very, very, very pitch stiff. Like, it does not want to flare up. So I was trying to pull back there and it wasn't getting much from it. So she's very unusual in that regard. This does not feel like a standard flight model. It actually has some really interesting behavior to it. So it props down to idle. Then we'll pull her in here. Back to our parking spot. There we go. Yeah, don't mind me, folks. I love the tease of a tricycle Mooney there. Sorry, Klaus, I'm going to run you over. Don't mind me. Oh, I guess we're going to park here then. Fine. That's fine by me too. Okay, engine's spooling down. Parking brake is set. And we'll just put everything back on here because we can. Fantastic. And out we get. So, Beech Starship, developed by Black Square. I love the fact the covers won't go on there until, yeah, now. Developed by Black Square, put out by Just Flight. This is one of the most unique aircraft to come out for both 2020 and 24. Its systems depth is Black Square expected level. It is phenomenal. It flies great and really originally. I'm going to have to put more time into this because I love this aircraft. This is so weird. This and the Piaggio, chef's kiss. Love them. They're weird, they're wonderful, and they are so much fun to fly. Highly recommend it if you're looking for something unique that's fast, that's a good touring aircraft. I might take this on a big trip. So, I will see you all soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.